So a single part of the core, which is lactate, will change hundreds of protein activities in the target cell. And this is just one of them. There are many others being released by astrocytes in response to neuronal activity.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is a great illustration. It's starting to get at the idea that, right, the body is one integrated unit. It's not your body and your brain. It's all plugged in together. And even these core metabolites that we think of as very basic and very primitive and very simple parts of basic cell physiology, they are participating in signaling and crosstalk between muscle tissue, brain tissue, everything else. And the whole thing is really just hooked up and integrated together. There's a series of metabolic reverberations that go across all of these tissue systems. And you ultimately can't separate them at some level. It's like the metabolism of your muscle is going to influence ultimately the metabolism of your neurons and vice versa.
And tip of the iceberg as well. We can say these things about lactate because we have genetically encoded sensors for lactate. So we can see the lactate changes in real time in an animal, which is walking. So, but there are about 5,000 metabolites in a typical cell. And we don't know what most of them do. Mm-hmm. And you have these, metabolic pathways sheets in biochemistry books that this was mapped say 100 years ago, 100 to 50. And now that we're developing these sensors, every time we look at a new one, it's a new world. It's a new surprise. We thought metabolism was kind of done. Mm-hmm. Probably when you were doing your courses, you say, oh yeah, we know metabolism and we know the glucose thing, but we really don't know. It's like having a telephone book. Of course, we have the list of, people in the telephone book. What do they do? Do we know what they do? By just looking at the names, we don't. Mm-hmm. So it's very exciting times that many labs in the world are developing these sensors, and we start looking at these things in real time in the right compartments, in the right cells. We see these exchanges, the information flowing, ebbing and flowing here and there. Beta-hydroxybutyrate is a super interesting one. The ketone body, keto diets.
Yeah. So BHB, I've talked about this before, but for those who don't know, beta-hydroxybutyrate, it's sort of the fatty acid equivalent of glucose, right? It's like what your body uses when it doesn't have glucose to do energy stuff. So if you're fasting or you're doing a ketogenic diet, BHB is one of the principal ketone bodies. So yeah, tell us a little bit more about BHB, and again, this is gonna be another example where it's doing more than just, being a substrate for energy transformation.
Yeah, sure. One of the questions, the question started when people realized, in exercise with lactate, when lactate goes to say 6 millimolar, the brain stops using glucose. So glucose consumption goes down by 30%. The same happens with the beta-hydroxybutyrate in starvation or fasting. So as blood levels go up, the brain reduces their glucose consumption by 30%.